When negative emotions arise in our minds, it could have been brought on by stressful activity, or maybe it appears to have come out of nowhere. Our minds will instinctively latch onto this emotion. Our first reaction when we experience these unpleasant emotions is to try to get rid of them as soon as possible. And naturally so, we all want to be happy after all. So there are a few things that we might try to do to help us cope with those emotions. We can distract ourselves, we can speak more positive phrases to try to trick our minds, or we can make a big effort to suppress the negative emotion. But each of these techniques can prove to be very exhausting. In this video, we'll explore how we can mindfully expand our awareness and reduce the impact of unwanted emotions. Hi, I'm Felipe from Mind Owl. Here we talk about how meditation, philosophy, and psychology can help you live a happier and more peaceful life. What happens when we try to get rid of negative emotions? When we are experiencing strong emotions, they might take up our whole attention, like an alarm clock that rings right next to our ear, as if they are shouting, "Hey, I'm here, don't think about anything else. Get this resolved as soon as possible." And when that happens, it's very difficult to think about anything or do anything else. We feel compelled to get rid of the unpleasant feeling at all costs. We can illustrate this by taking an object, like this book. Imagine that this book is a negative emotion. The emotion sits right here in front of us, taking all of our attention. And when this emotion is present, we stop shifting our mental resources to people, places, things we love. It's the only thing on our mind. We can't focus on anything else. We can try to push it away. We can try to ignore it, but that's not going to make it go away. In fact, doing so can be tiring and it doesn't work long term. Try to keep the object away from you like I'm doing here. You notice that your arms will get tired, and the same happens with our mental energy. We end up wearing ourselves out, and we inevitably will run out of energy for the things that are actually important to us. The tunnel vision. When we place this intense amount of focus on our negative emotions to try and fix them, we can often experience what is called tunnel vision. This is when we become so focused on the problem at hand that we can't see anything else. We might miss important details or solutions that could help us because our minds are so preoccupied. This intense focus can also lead us feeling overwhelmed and hopeless. Say you are focusing on reading a document for work, and to do so you must block out every other stimulus around you. You might not hear people talking to you or notice when your coffee gets cold. You are so focused on the task at hand that you can't pay attention to anything else. This is what it's like when we have this tunnel vision about our emotions. We become so focused on trying to fix them that we can't see anything else. Sometimes it's difficult to tell when we are experiencing tunnel vision because we become so wrapped up in our thoughts and emotions, but a good way to tell if you are experiencing tunnel vision is to ask if you feel like you are stuck in a loop of negative thinking. You might feel like you can't get out of your own head and that everything is going wrong. If you find yourself in this situation, it's important to step back and try to expand your awareness. How to expand your awareness? There are a few techniques that will help us leave the tunnel and use all the information around us for our own benefit. One that is particularly effective is the practice of expanding our awareness. The human mind has learned through extended amount of time in the fight or flight mode to view the world as individual objects. And as many of our instinctive behaviors, this is a feature to help us identify threats and increase our chances of survival. However, now we are left with a very limited perspective of the world and a limited view of ourselves. So by expanding our awareness, we allow our minds to take in the full picture, whether that's the space around us, the sounds in the environment, or the sensations in our bodies. There is an analogy we can use to illustrate this technique. Let's say you have a glass of water and you dissolve a spoonful of salt. The water will be very salty. It's hard to drink it now. However, if you have the same amount of salt, a spoonful, and now you pour it into a lake, for example, the salt just dissolves. It's impossible to notice anymore. The idea of this exercise is the same. We are not going to avoid the pinches of salt that life puts in our water, but we are going to expand our attention as if we are no longer the glass of water, but the lake instead. The emotions will still be there, but they are not going to stop us from using our attention and connecting with what's around us. To do this exercise, you can follow these steps. Notice if there are any difficult emotions present at this moment. If there aren't, you can recall a difficult emotion you have felt recently. Notice how that emotion affects your body. Notice if there are any sensations in your body, perhaps tightness in your stomach, tightness in the chest, warmth in your face. Now, even though the emotion is present, can you turn your attention to the sounds around you? What sounds are present? You can say, I notice the emotion in my body, but I also notice sounds around me. After noticing the sounds, you can then notice all the space around you. You can feel it physically, or you can use your eyes and look in a way that you see everything that is in front of you without fixing on any specific object. And as you do that, see if you can take 6 slow breaths, perceiving all the space around you, the space in front of you, the space behind, the space to the right, the space to the left. What else is present here now? Emotions, sounds, images, space around you, sensations in the body. What else? Keep expanding your awareness and noticing more and more details around you. Notice what happens to the challenging emotions as you shift your attention in this way. Is it possible to feel more openly about that emotion? Can you try to perceive that emotion as part of something bigger that is happening right now? Sometimes just expanding our attention allows us to begin to feel fully present, aware even in the face of unpleasant emotions. Try practicing this exercise whenever you feel an unwanted emotion and see how you feel. The more we practice expanding our awareness, the easier it becomes to do so in everyday life. And soon enough, we might find ourselves feeling more connected to the world around us and more at peace with ourselves. We might just find that we are able to let go of the difficult emotions that we've been holding on to for so long. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll be happy to answer them. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, check the suggested videos for more content on meditation, psychology and how to live a more meaningful life. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.